Hey everyone, Nick Pahr here with you again in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Spectrum Lanes, and today I'm going to be going over some tips for you on how to read the pattern without knowing the pattern beforehand. Typically what I like to do is take my first 3 shots going over 5, 10, and 15 at the arrows. That just gives me an idea of what the pattern is doing and where I need to be, not only in the front, but hopefully down lane as well. I'm kind of watching that as the ball is going down the lane, seeing where the ball is exiting the pattern, how it's exiting, and all that. And the last thing I'm going to be really aware of is actually watching the pins, how they fall, and in practice especially, what am I leaving? If I'm leaving a 10 pin, well, is the 6 pin going around the 10 like a wrap 10, or is it laying in the gutter kind of lazy like a flat 10? If I 4 pin, that's probably a good sign, and that's what I'm going to be looking for actually when I throw these shots, is finding a range where I can 4 pin. 4 pin's really good ball reaction. That means I'm really close to figuring out the right angles and being in the right part of the lane. I have no idea what's out there right now. This is fresh, so I'm going to take my most versatile and most benchmark ball that I have, which is Venom Shock. I'm going to be throwing that on this today and going to try to figure out what I like to see on the lanes and what the pattern's telling me to play. So like I said, usually I go through the first arrow, second arrow, third arrow, just to figure out what the pattern kind of feels like. If it feels really long, if my ball never hooks, or if I see where the friction starts, that means I know where I need to get my ball to down lane. So like I said, I'm going to start first arrow, see what it does. So the ball went pretty far down the lane before it hooked, but it did hook quite a bit down lane. So now I'm gonna go to second arrow, up 10, kind of see what that gives me. But that tells me right away that my ball's storing quite a bit of energy and using it all down lane. So I feel like there's quite a bit of oil out here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this next ball doesn't hook. So second arrow. Okay, so that was pretty close actually. Hit the pocket, sent a messenger in front of the 10. Just means my ball's a little bit behind the head pin. So that's a good sign when I see something like that when I have no idea what the pattern's doing. Just tells me the ball's a little bit too far down the lane when it tries to change directions. So from there I might actually throw a stronger ball in that same zone, but I am gonna try 15. So we're gonna go to third arrow, see what this does for me. So there, saw me wrap 10. Ball skidded down lane pretty easy, had no problem. So it definitely feels like it's a longer pattern to me. That one just was in too much oil and couldn't change directions hard enough to get the 10 out. So from there, I would probably go back to the right where I was close, up 10. Because I sent the messenger and I just know that I have oil left in me now, so I should have a little bit of hold. So I'm gonna go back to second arrow around there and figure out my angles. There you go. As you can see, that seems to be the part of the lane that I would like to be in. I know that I've got a little bit of hook to the right, so I'm not too afraid to miss a little right. And I know that I have oil left in me because I went into 15 and my ball had no problem getting down the lane. So I like to use a little bit more hold than hook, especially on longer patterns. So my angles are a little, square and trapped. Throw one more. I even got that one a little bit right. So 6 pin did its job, knocked out the 10 for me, so I think I'm in a pretty good zone there. Typically, you're not gonna just go through one by one and see this kind of, this kind of motion out of it. So if you get too far left, say when you're at 15 and the ball never hooks, obviously you're gonna have to go back right. If you feel like your ball hooks quite a bit up the first arrow, you're gonna have to go left because that's where it's telling you where the friction is. So just play around on the lanes, and like I said, always be aware of what everyone else on your pair is doing, and maybe even on the pair left and right of you.